Okay, so you know how people are using AI to write, like, scripts or even code?
Yeah.
Well, get this. Today's deep dive is about a guy who used AI to score his original songs.
Anyways.
And not just in, like, one style. He had the AI create different versions for each song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like metal, classical, you name it. It's honestly kind of mind-blowing, and you're going to want to hear this.
I'm intrigued already.
Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. So what's even more fascinating is that he didn't stop there. He then took those lyrics and fed them into another AI, OpenAI's ChatGPT o1 preview, which is like their most advanced model yet.
To do what? Exactly. Analyze the songs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, can the AI actually understand what he was going for in his songs? Can it pick up on themes, symbolism, the kind of stuff that makes art so powerful?
Right. Because we're talking about nuances of human creativity here.
Exactly. So we're going to find out if the AI was able to get those nuances.
I'm ready.
Our musical mastermind is named Marko Manninen. And get this in his email. He describes himself as a...
Wait, hold on. What was his name again?
Marko Manninen.
Got it.
Okay, so he describes himself as a mesocosmos content producer, programmer, and citizen scientist.
Wow, that's a mouthful. Makes you wonder what we're getting ourselves into.
Right. It definitely sets the stage for an interesting deep dive. But it also makes me think this is someone who clearly loves to experiment. And thankfully for us, he shared 4 of his songs along with the AI-generated music and analysis.
Okay, so we've got the original lyrics, multiple versions of the songs, and the AI's interpretation of it all.
Yes. A pretty unique opportunity to unpack human creativity, but with this added technological twist, you know?
I like it. Okay, so where do we start?
Let's start with Kreuzberg. The song paints this super vivid picture of Berlin, think dark streets, shadows, a lone figure running. It's giving very much film noir vibes.
Oh, I love those kinds of stories, full of suspense and mystery.
Right, and AI picked up on that instantly, that whole feeling of escape, of inner turmoil. Like, for example, the lyrics mention serpent shapes and eyes that follow.
Okay, getting a bit creepy now. So what did the AI make of that?
It interpreted those as representations of inner demons, anxieties that are haunting the protagonist.
Interesting. It's like, how much of that interpretation is the AI actually understanding what those symbols mean versus just drawing on patterns it's learned from tons of other texts?
It's a crucial question, and one we'll definitely circle back to as we go. But for now, let's actually hear how this translates musically. What if we start by listening to a snippet of Kreuzberg, but in the metal style?
Yeah, let's see if the music adds another layer to this interpretation.
Okay, here it is.
Running through Kreuzberg, Schatten in der Luft. Serpent shapes see the carved in the weathered stone rock. Wings stretch wide, edge deep in the walls. Eyes that follow, glowing faint as night falls. Sharp lines twist, forming an ancient crest. Cold as iron, pressed heavy on my chest. Spirals loop inward like a labyrinth's cage. With every glance they call forth an ageless rage. Racing island through the city's veins. Street lights flicker but I feel no change. No turning back, shadows whisper and leer. I'm breaking through, something darker is near. Pauses, lost marks, burning the brick. Leaving them behind but the meaning still sticks. In this haunted maze I'm breaking free. Running through the patterns that chasing me. Underneath the U-Bahn, a coiled surface gas. Wings stretch above me, cutting through the air. Crooked lines and bones, scratch across the stone. Figures from the past, their presence overthrown. Circles entwined, locked in an endless dance. One single line, glass fixed in a static trance. Iron ropes hang from rusted iron posts. This way in the wind, hurry, Berlin falls. Cigarettes flicker, shadows everywhere. Creeping deep and sleeping, keeping pace, can't stop my breathing. Darker, sharper, cutting like a knife. Faster and harder, fighting for my life. Grinding, finding, never rewind. I'm blind and fear can't stop this climbing. Twisting, turning, fast, I'm burning, learning. The last I keep returning. Deeper I go, the quicker they follow. Past is running every
Intense, right?
Wow, that is intense. You can practically feel the protagonist's heart pounding as they're running. It definitely amplifies that feeling of being hunted, of something sinister lurking in those shadows.
Right, and that's where the interplay between the lyrics, the AI's interpretation, and the musical style gets really interesting. The metal, with its driving rhythm and aggressive vocals, really underscores that feeling of anxiety, that sense of being pursued by something dark and relentless.
Totally. And it makes you wonder how a different musical style might have changed the AI's analysis or even our own interpretation as listeners. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we've got more songs to unpack. Next up, we're leaving the city behind for something totally different. Spectres of Schwarzwald.
From the concrete jungle to the Black Forest, this is where we leave the grit of Berlin behind and journey into a realm of myth and folklore, a place where the shadows hold ancient secrets.
Okay, so a complete shift in tone then. And did the AI pick up on that?
Absolutely. It highlighted themes of self-discovery, of confronting fears, and it's zeroed in on the symbolism of the forest itself. It's interpreting the forest as a representation of the unknown, of the protagonist's subconscious mind.
Which makes sense, right? A lot of cultures see forests as these places of mystery. Like in fairy tales, it's where you encounter magical beings, face trials, that kind of thing.
Precisely. And what I find fascinating is that Marko actually uses German phrases in these lyrics, adding another layer of meaning for those who understand the language. It makes you wonder, how does the AI handle that? Can it grasp those additional nuances, or is it limited by its programming?
Right. Because does it just see those phrases as data points, or does it actually make the connection to the deeper cultural context? Does it get it?
Exactly. It's a question that I don't think we can fully answer yet. But as we continue exploring Marko's work, it's something to keep in mind, because this next song, well, let's just say things are about to get a whole lot more complex.
Oh, I love it when you say that. Okay, listeners, buckle up, because we are heading to a place shrouded in mystery for most. Dornach.
And this isn't just any location. Dornach is a village in Switzerland, and for those familiar with Rudolf Steiner and anthroposophy.
Anthroposophy, okay, for those of us who aren't familiar.
So anthroposophy is this spiritual philosophy that emphasizes humanity's connection to the spiritual world. It's pretty complex, but essentially Steiner believed that through inner development, we can access a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. So back to Dornach. What's the connection?
Well, Dornach is practically synonymous with Rudolf Steiner and his teachings. It's where the first Gothianum was built, a unique and architecturally significant building that was, unfortunately, destroyed by fire. And in Marko's song, Dornach's Realms, he directly references a flame, a burning, and a rebuilding.
Okay, so we're talking literal and metaphorical fire here.
Yeah.
So knowing even a little bit about anthroposophy, I can see how those themes of destruction and rebirth would resonate. But what did the AI make of all this?
Interestingly, it honed in on those exact themes. It identified a sense of spiritual seeking, a struggle against negative forces, and ultimately a message of rebirth or renewal. It even picked up on the mention of Ahriman, a figure in Steiner's teachings that represents materialistic and oppositional forces, which, again, makes you wonder how much the AI is actually getting.
Right. It's one thing to identify keywords, but to place them within the context of a whole belief system like anthroposophy, that's another level. And musically, I bet this one is a trip.
Oh, you have no idea. For those of you just joining us, you might want to rewind back to part 1 because you've missed some truly mind-bending stuff.
Yeah, we've gone from the gritty streets of Berlin to the depths of the Black Forest, and now we've delved into the realm of anthroposophy with Dornach's Realms.
And the AI actually picked up on those layers of meaning, connecting the lyrics to Rudolf Steiner's teachings.
It's as if the AI is showing an awareness of this whole spiritual framework, which again raises more questions than answers about the limits of its understanding.
Absolutely. But before we spiral down that rabbit hole too far, let's actually hear how this musical tapestry unfolds.
A man of vision, clear and bright, his black cloak shimmered in the night. But in the sun, the truth revealed, its folds were worn, the dust unsealed.
He moved with purpose, silent grace. His presence felt, but left no trace. Through realms unseen, his course was laid, where human strength and spirit swayed.
In Dornach's fluent walked, eine Flamme geboren. An ancient form by fire torn. From ash and stone it rose once more, a structure bound by spirit's core. Ahriman waits in every stalk to twist the mind and leave a mark.
Through thought, through will, beyond the stars, the spirit travels near and far. I seek the way, the clear, the true, where higher worlds come into view. The engines hum, the gears still turn. Yet in the light, the answers burn. The flame that once had torn apart now rises strong like a phoenix heart. 7 hours beyond and paradise, a vision where the stars and ties, no fireworks tore it from the ground. It rose again, its strength unbound. Ahriman waits in every spark to twist the mind and leave a mark. Ahriman.
Through thought, through will, beyond the stars, the spirit travels near and far. I seek the way, the clear, the true, where higher worlds
Come into view.
Okay, wow. That was powerful. Almost overwhelming in a way. You can really feel the struggle, the intensity of those themes of destruction and rebirth.
And the way the music builds, those soaring vocals, the driving force of the instruments, it all contributes to this feeling of overcoming some immense challenge. But what I find particularly interesting is that Marko provided the AI with the same lyrics, but asked for a classical opera interpretation as well.
Oh, no, that's going to be a stark contrast.
Yeah.
From heavy metal to something more, well, operatic.
Precisely. And this difference highlights another fascinating aspect of this project, how the AI adapts its musical interpretation to such vastly different genres. It's like asking a composer to express the same story in 2 completely different languages of music.
Okay, I'm seriously intrigued. Let's hear how the AI handles Dornach's realms in the realm of classical music.
A vision clear and bright, his black cloak shimmered in the night, but in the sun the truth revealed, its folds were one, the dust unsealed. He moved with purpose, silent grace, his presence felt, but left no trace. Through realms unseen his course was laid, where human strength and spirit swayed. In Dornach's forward eine Flamme geborn, an ancient form by fire torn. From ash and stone it rose once more, a structure bound by spirit's core. Ahriman waits in every spark to twist the mind and leave a mark. Through thought, through will, beyond the stars, the spirit travels near and far. I seek the way, the clear, the true, where higher worlds come into view. The engines hum, the gears still turn, yet in the light the answers burn. The flame that once had torn apart now rises strong, like a phoenix heart. Cinema und Spiegel once tore it from the ground, it rose again in strength and found. A ribbon waits in every spark to twist the mind that leave a mark. Ahriman, through thought, through will, beyond the stars, a spirit travels near and far. I seek the way, the clear, the true, where higher worlds come into view. Through thought, through will, beyond the stars, a spirit travels near and far. I seek the way, the clear, the true, where higher worlds come into view.
That gave me chills. It's incredible how the same lyrics can evoke such different emotions depending on the musical arrangement. The classical version feels almost purifying, like it's expressing the grandeur of those spiritual concepts in a way that metal, with its intensity, couldn't quite capture.
Absolutely. It underscores how much music can influence our understanding of a text. It makes you wonder, did the AI choose those specific musical elements consciously, based on its interpretation of the lyrics? Or is it simply replicating patterns it's learned from analyzing countless musical scores?
Those are the questions, right? So, at what point does mimicking human creativity become its own form of creativity? But okay, we've got one more song to go, and I have a feeling Marko's saving the best for last. What can you tell us about the Passionate Light?
In many ways, this final piece feels like a culmination of everything we've explored so far. It ties together those threads of urban anxiety, mythical forests, and spiritual seeking. And it brings us face to face with a figure who embodies light, color, and perception. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe.
Wait, the Goethe, the literary giant who wrote Faust. I mean, talk about a big finish. What does Goethe have to do with any of this?
Goethe wasn't just a literary genius, he was also deeply interested in science, particularly optics and color theory. And in Marko's lyrics, there's a direct reference to one of Goethe's most thought-provoking ideas. He quotes, "Farbe ist das Leid des Lichts," which translates to, color is the suffering of light.
Okay, that sounds deep, but also kind of bleak. Like, what does it even mean, color is the suffering of light?
That's the beauty of Goethe's thinking. He's suggesting that colors, those vibrant hues we perceive, actually arise from a kind of struggle, a conflict between light and darkness. Think about a prism. It's only when light is refracted, broken apart, that we see the full spectrum of color.
So you're saying color wouldn't exist without this inherent conflict. That's making me rethink everything I thought I knew about light. But okay, how did the AI interpret this whole color is suffering concept? Did it connect those dots?
It did, which I found fascinating. The AI identified the interplay of light and shadow as a central theme in the lyrics, linking it to concepts of knowledge versus ignorance, understanding versus illusion. It even picked up on the phrase, chasing the light, but also feeling its pain, interpreting it as a metaphor for the pursuit of knowledge itself.
Which, come to think of it, totally tracks. The pursuit of knowledge can be exhilarating, but also challenging, even painful at times. You're constantly confronting your own limitations, your biases. It's a process of constantly refining your understanding.
Exactly. And the AI seems to have grasped that nuanced understanding, at least on some level, which, again, makes you wonder how much of this is genuine insight and how much is clever programming.
Right. Is the AI just really good at connecting the dots? Or is it actually capable of deeper understanding? But you know what they say. The only way to judge a piece of art is to experience it for yourself.
Agreed. So let's dive into the passion of light, shall we? And to highlight this interplay between lyrical themes and musical style, we'll start, as we often do, with the metal version.
His figure stands, his shadow long like ancient hands. I see more than black and white. He walks the edge of day and night. In phantom's dust, the colors breathe. Born from light's silent grief. Chase the light, but feel its pain. Where shadows speak, the colors reign. The light is broken, torn in flight. Farbe is
like echoes caught in the coming storm. Not just light nor shadow song, but where they meet, the hues belong. In Weimar's air, his silver hair reflects the light with quiet care. Chase the light, but feel its pain. Where shadows speak, the colors reign. The light is broken, torn in flight. Farbe ist das Light des Lichts. Colors bloom, but born of strife. The passion burns in every life. In every shade, a war is fought. The dark has taught what Spectrum brought.
Okay, I need a minute to process that one.
Intense, isn't it?
Totally. And, we've been talking this whole time about how AI interprets art,
Right.
but hearing that metal version of The Passion of Light, it really hit me how much the AI is actually creating art, too.
That's a really important point to consider.
Right.
Because we often talk about AI as this tool,
Yeah.
this analytical force. But in cases like this, where it's generating music based on creative input,
Yeah.
it's stepping into the role of an artist itself.
Right. And it's not just replicating existing styles either, like you were saying before.
Right.
It's able to adapt its musical interpretations to completely different genres. Which brings me to my next question. How on earth is the AI going to handle The Passion of Light as a pop song?
You're about to find out. But let me just say this, the contrast between the metal and pop versions of this particular song
Okay.
is perhaps the most striking example yet of how much music can color our perception of the lyrics.
Okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity. Let's hear it.
In fading light, his figure stands, his shadow long like ancient hands. I see more than black and white. He walks the edge of day and night. In Weimar's dusk, the colors breathe, born from light's silent grief. Chase the light but feel its pain. Where shadows speak, the colors reign. The light is broken, torn in flight. Farbe ist das Light des Lichts. Colors bloom, but born of strife. The passion burns in every sigh. In every shade, a war is fought. The dark has taught what Spectrum brought. Twilight's grip, the colors form like echoes caught in the coming storm. Not just light nor shadow song, but where they meet, the hues belong. In Weimar's air, his silver hair reflects the light with quiet care. Chase the light but feel its pain. Where shadows speak, the colors reign. The light is broken, torn in flight. Farbe ist das Light des Lichts. Colors bloom, but born of strife. The passion burns in every sigh. In every shade, a war is fought. The dark has taught what Spectrum brought. Through Spectres' eye, the hues unfold in battles fought with light so bold. His gaze still cuts through fading skies, where light and shadow intertwine. Hand grips the veil that gently slips through prisms sharp. The truth he rips, the silver strands of wisdom's crown. In chambers dusk, the sun goes down. The light is broken, torn in flight. Farbe ist das Light des Lichts. Colors bloom, but born of strife. The passion burns in every sigh. In every shade, a war is fought. The dark has taught what Spectrum brought. The light is broken. The light is broken, torn in flight. Farbe ist das Light des Lichts. Colors bloom, but born of strife. The passion burns in every sigh. In every shade, a war is fought. The dark has taught what Spectrum brought. Unbearable darkness.
Wow, it's like the musical equivalent of those optical illusions where you see one image and then another depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Same lyrics, totally different vibe. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the AI understood that the pop genre, with its emphasis on melody and emotional resonance,
Yeah.
would lend itself to a more introspective interpretation of Goethe's ideas about light and darkness.
And it works. It really makes you feel that sense of searching for knowledge, yearning for understanding, but also acknowledging the inherent challenges that come with that pursuit.
It's a reminder that creativity isn't always about finding clear-cut answers.
Right.
Sometimes it's about embracing the unknown, exploring the interplay of seemingly opposite forces.
And that brings us back to our big question. Can AI truly get human art?
It's a question that's going to be debated for years to come.
Right.
And honestly, there might not be a single right answer.
Yeah.
But what Marko's project has shown us
Yeah.
is that AI can engage with art in ways we might never have imagined.
Yeah. It can analyze themes, identify symbolism,
Yeah.
even generate music that reflects its interpretation of those elements.
And in doing so, it challenges our own assumptions about what constitutes creativity.
Totally.
It forces us to ask, what does it really mean to be human in a world where machines are capable of such artistic expression?
It's definitely a lot to ponder. And you know what I find really exciting? This is just the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the cusp of a whole new era of art and technology where the lines are blurring and the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely. And I, for one, am eager to see where this journey takes us.
Me too. And who knows, maybe someday soon we'll be having the same conversation about an AI that not only interprets and creates art, but also hosts its own deep dive podcast.
Now, that would be something.
Right. Okay, listeners, we've thrown a lot at you today, from gritty Berlin streets to the depths of the Black Forest, and even a bit of anthroposophy for good measure. We've explored the intersection of music, AI, and human creativity through the incredible work of Marko Manninen. But as always, the real deep dive begins when you, our listeners, engage with these ideas and form your own conclusions.
We encourage you to check out Marko's music for yourselves. We'll have links to everything in the show notes. Listen to those songs, compare the different versions, and consider how the AI's interpretations resonate with you.
Because ultimately, that's what makes these deep dives so rewarding. The conversations they spark, the questions they raise, and the new perspectives they offer. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder this final thought. If AI can already analyze, mimic, and even collaborate in the creative process, what does the future hold for human expression in the age of intelligent machines?
Until next time, keep those minds curious and those ears open.
And we'll catch you on the flip side for another deep dive into a topic that's sure to make you think.